Test. Mic check, 1, 2. Check it out. Alright, fuck it. We might be going. Welcome to the Bartenders Anonymous Podcast, episode 19. Motherfuckers! And my schedule is all over the place because my life is a tad bit absurd at the moment. And, but we're working on it. Also, I got sick for like 3 days, so I was kind of out of commission on doing anything creatively, and I was just existing. And then I had my pesky 2 days of work, and you know how that be going. So I'm going to pause this and listen back because these levels look super low. Back. Whoa, now that seems too loud almost. That'll probably be fine. Fuck it, whatever. It is Tuesday, and yeah, so I had my 2 days of work, so that was good. Felt mildly productive. And for the first time ever, got a couple of cocktails on a menu, so that felt pretty good, just as a bartender. Because at my old job, I feel like you could not ever do that shit. It was just managers that thought they were bartenders, and they would come up with some bullshit and go, yeah, make this. And we would all have to make it. And it was fine. I mean, it wasn't fine, but whatever. Granted, I didn't make any of the ones that I got on the menu on my 2 days of work, but whatever. It was still an accomplishment in my book just to see them on the little menu, so I was happy about that. But yeah, last week, went to a wedding, a nice, sober wedding for me, which was sad because they did have beer, and you didn't even have to pay, and I could have had some nice cold Modelo's, but I did not, and so I just had Red Bull and nicotine pouches. It was fine. It was all right. Happy for my buddy. He got married. I'm very proud of him. He did it. He did good. Bit the bullet. Made a commitment. It's not easy to do, so good for you, buddy. Yeah, no, it was fun. Of course, me being me, had one awkward moment where I had to pee right before the ceremony started. Ran into the bathroom, ran into an old buddy from my old job who just happens to be the other most obnoxious person in the venue. And so we're like bullshitting in the bathroom, like talking about football or something stupid. And he's like, blah, 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 talking really loud. And then we go out, and it's like the music has started, and the kids are like walking like in twos. And then me and the homie come out of the restroom, and even the bride saw us because she was waiting to walk out. And she goes, you guys are part of the walking party now. And we're like, oh, shit. And so we both come out looking almost like we're in the wedding party, but then we just like jog to our seats like idiots. And so, yeah, we're here to help, buddy. Help you make memories. So, naturally, without doing something stupid like that, I just wouldn't be me. And but I'm glad I wasn't alone. So, the other homie was there to look stupid with. So, yeah, the past 2 weeks, me only working 2 days, I've requested days off for the one before where I went to the Ducks game, needed to get a Saturday off, and then the past week where I got a Sunday off. And then, so I finally worked 2 days in a row this past week, which I was like, man, I got my fucking ass kicked. And we went and played disc golf because it was nice. So on Saturday, we played 18 holes of disc golf, and I've been just playing a lot of freaking Call of Duty. So my body's just like, is this what we do now? We just fucking sit around and we go to DUI classes, and then we just play video games and wait for the world to end. So, needless to say, my shoulder hurt, and then it was Saturday, so I was busy, boom, boom, boom. And I feel like I did pretty good, kind of busted it out on Saturday. But then the next day on Sunday, I just was fucking hurting, just feeling like a pussy, and body hurt, and I was grumpy. And so I was just off my game the whole day, and like, it was just stupid. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I got through it, and nobody died. It was fine. But I was just being a crybaby behind the bar, and once I had to multitask and do like 5 different things, I was just like, fuck this and that and da-da-da, and I even apologized to a couple of my guests. I was like, sorry, I'm back here being a crybaby. Only having to work 2 days a week, and I still can't handle it. So, whatever. We'll get into a routine here eventually. Still been in limbo, as it were, waiting for the lady to move out of the house. So there's boxes everywhere and plants and, yeah. It's just still kind of a mess, but we're slowly getting there. And once she gets into her apartment, gets her own independence going and stuff, like that'll be good for her. We can both grow as humans and figure out our paths. So it will be fine in the end. It'll be all right. And then, as far as classes going, I got my blowy thing. I've been getting pretty good at it. Getting pretty good at blowing. And I have to go in on the 13th, Friday the 13th, and get it, what do they call it? Calibrated or whatever. And just an excuse for me to give them $160, I'm pretty sure is what that is. And that's fine. That's what I deserve. I deserve to be inconvenienced and to have to pay money for stupid shit. Pay them to inconvenience me. And that's what I get because it's better than community service or jail time. So, that being said, I got like half a month left. We're getting there. There's cold beers in my future, but cold beers shall be enjoyed responsibly from now on, and I will not be getting behind the wheel after said beverages. So, lessons will be learned, and I will be wiser and older and closer to death. We are recording on the big boy now. I upgraded the studio. I'm a Studio One guy, to whom it may concern. I don't know if any of you guys use recording softwares, but I was always a cheap ass. I always used a free version of Studio One because I've tried Fruity Loops and I've tried. My buddy used Ableton. He gave me Ableton to use for a while. Couldn't figure it out. Fruity Loops, just over my head. I don't get it. I don't make beats. I just want to put on some generic music for intros and then talk for 25 minutes. Generic outro music. Boom. Simple. Intro, middle section, outro, easy breezy. I don't need all the bells and whistles. But they got me. I gave them $160. I upgraded the studio. So I've got Studio One version 6 professional. And it sounds, from what I can tell, it sounds pretty good. It could be my computer, it could be the software, I don't know. But it sounds pretty crispy to me. Also, just not using my shitty old laptop, which I still love my laptop. I don't give a fuck. That still is the workhorse. But I'm slowly learning to use this gaming PC for more and more stuff. So, also it's kind of like a subscription thing with the Studio One. So it came with some. There's a bunch of videos on like lessons in recording and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well that can give me something to study. So I'll watch some videos and see if I can learn something. So far, all I've gotten was basics I already knew, and then I watched like an hour video on how to record acoustic guitar. And I don't even know how to play acoustic guitar, so I felt kind of stupid watching a video on how to record the acoustic guitar that I don't know how to play yet. So, whatever, it was good. It's good to just eat some knowledge once in a while. Yeah, so we're slowly trying to better ourselves. We're getting there. Yeah, the Bartender's Anonymous podcast, still trying to be consistent. I know I've been a little less consistent, but, you know, as wonky as my life is right now, I'm trying to just have some kind of baseline, and it's easier said than done, but we're getting there, and it'll be easier after I've got the house to myself. I can kind of organize my thoughts and my house and my stuff, and like I watched you ever seen that movie Limitless? I freaking love that movie. It's kind it's, it's kind of stupid. The concept being that he takes a pill and it unlocks 100% of his brain, blah, blah, blah. He's the smartest guy in the world. And, but I watched a TikTok video. Well, YouTube shorts. I don't watch TikToks. I'm better than that. Yeah, you think you're better than that, buddy? Well, you don't even know how to turn your fucking display to where it doesn't fall asleep in the middle of your podcast. So there's that. Sorry, my computer went to sleep, and I had to redo a thing, and now here we are. Oh yeah, but anyways, the moral of that was that in Limitless, the first thing he does is he cleans his fucking house before he starts investing in stocks and becomes rich and really smart and blah, blah, blah. Clean your fucking house. Make your bed. Organize your books. All 15 of the books I own that I've read 3 of them. That was the moral of that before my computer went to sleep. Also, I just really like that movie Limitless. But I digress. Now that I've lost my train of thought almost completely, working out some bugs, learning how to use this $1,400 piece of equipment that's just been sitting here, and I've just played Star Wars on it for the most part. But now we've got the studio on it. So hopefully that, yeah. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Bartender's Anonymous podcast is still rolling, and slowly we'll grab a listener here, a listener there. I've been fucking around on Reddit. I feel like that might be my best bet to gain some listeners and keep the podcast anonymous without just going on Facebook and be like, hey, you guys listen to my podcast? As I don't really want to do that. And then all my friends will just post and talk shit about me, and, I'm not ready for that. So, I've only told a select few, you know who you are, and then we'll try and grow the base off of that. So, we're going with the slow roll. I'm not trying to get rich quick. I'm not trying to gain a bunch of popularity. I just like doing this, and it gives me something to focus on, and give me a little bit of purpose, and it keeps a couple of people up to date with my life that I don't get to see all the time. So it's kind of fun in that aspect as well. But yeah, so I started tinkering around on the Reddits, because there's a Reddit for basically every little sub thing you can think of. You just type it in, and there's like 500 people talking about it. So I went on there and was just talking about podcasts, and this one guy was like, he's like, oh, were you on Stereo the other day? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And he's like, oh, it's just like this website where people talk and talk about stuff. And he said that there was some bartender that was talking about a podcast. He's like, I thought maybe it was you. And I was like, no. But now I'm curious about other bartenders doing podcasts, because I'd like to listen to them. That's the whole reason I started this in the first place, was that I feel like I listen to comedians do podcasts all the time, and then scientists that do podcasts, and then like music stuff, and I'm like, I don't really know shit about that stuff. I just know the food and beverage industry. So I was like trying to find somebody to listen to that is talking about shit that I can relate to, and I can be like, yeah, that, I know what they're talking about. But there's not that many out there, so hence supply and demand, But anyways, I was talking to that guy a little bit, and I was like asking him about his podcast, and I was like, hey, if you listen to mine, I'll listen to yours. I was like, that's one way to get a view. And he's like, sure, man. And so he sends me a link, and I started listening to his, and his is called Who Farted? Hoof spelled like a horse hoof or whatever, and then hearted, like, heart, but it's a play on words. Ha ha ha. I get it. It's funny. And I started at the beginning. His are like an hour long, though, so they're a little longer to commit to, but I listened to the first, 3 episodes, and it's kind of funny, because it's just, him and his, I don't know if they're stoners or what, but they're just talking about movies and video games and blah, blah, blah. So, but then he listened to one of mine, and he's like, hey, it's good. I like it. Keep doing it, man. And I was like, yes, thank you. That helps me a little bit, just to from one rookie podcaster to another. So I'm going to keep listening to his, if you want to check it out, Who Farted, shout him out. His is on Spotify, which I thought was interesting because I'm just like, yeah, just throw your shit on YouTube. But then I started Googling Who Farted with that like joke play on words or whatever, and there's a lot of Who Farted related things. So maybe that's why theirs is on Spotify, so it didn't like interfere with somebody else's or whatever. But yeah, Who Farted? Pretty funny. Also got some excellent movie recommendations on there because they were talking about movies for like the first couple of episodes, so I was digging that. Yeah, but anyways, just to get on there and talk to some people and can bounce some ideas off of, and so I think I'll get onto some bartender Reddits and maybe just to have some discussions, and then at some point I can be like, you want to listen to my podcast? So slowly but surely I'll kind of start getting into that. But in the meantime, I'll just live my life and be sober for another month. And then we'll see what other shenanigans I get into. Let's see if I start working more. Maybe I'll start traveling. I'm definitely leaning towards not working more. So if I can just make enough money on the weekends to like pay my mortgage, then I'm like, fuck it. I'll just keep working 2 days a week. And then I'll have 5 days to go just exist and live my life. So I just feel like I've been working for the past 15 years nonstop and haven't really had time to sit down and breathe and focus on shit I actually like instead of just being in the corporate machine and just, taking the dick in the ass and fucking paying bills and going out and drinking and gambling and losing all of my profits. So, trying to change my way of thinking, and slowly but surely, hopefully, we can build something that's worth a damn in due time. So, that's it. Just a little update. Probably keep this one short and sweet because I can't really remember what else I wanted to talk about. I guess we could go to the notes. That's where you go to the notes. You go, well, I've run out of shit to freestyle, so old people playing on their phones is funny because they make fun of young people, but then they're on their phones all the time. Being sober at a wedding. This is kind of funny. I've noticed the progression of DJs is turned into just smart white guys that know how to use computers. Whereas it used to be cool black guys spinning records, and now it's like just smart white guys with laptops. I thought that was kind of funny. I noticed that at the wedding, because the guy, it was just like this 40-year-old white dude with a beer belly, and he's got his DJ set up with everything, big old speakers and the lights and everything, and he's presses play, gets the party started, and it was kind of funny because nobody danced. There was like, at one point, some kid went out there and started jumping around, and everybody like applauded, like, "Oh yeah, you're doing great. Thank you for breaking the ice." And it was fun, whatever. But we got out of there shortly because I'm not drinking beer, so I wasn't getting drunk enough to dance. So I was like, all right, fun sober wedding. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I got sick. That was annoying. Probably COVID, but who gives a shit? Had the body aches for like a day, and then like 4 days of being snotty, and yeah, pretty much good now. I still think it's annoying that people pick up their dog shit and then they leave the bag of shit somewhere. And I've said this before, that I'm just like, hey, if I can get away with not picking up the dog shit, I just don't pick up the dog shit. It's biodegradable. I don't give a fuck. If you're staring at me, I'll try and pick it up, just because I don't want to have the confrontation. But I just leave the dog shit there. Go fuck yourself, because I think that's better than picking it up. The reason this is in the notes is because I found a bag of dog shit in a drinking fountain, and I'm like, you went through the trouble to pick up the dog shit, and then you threw it into the drinking fountain? Like, I just don't understand that human where is that's better than just leaving the dog shit to biodegrade. You use a plastic bag to pick it up, and then you put it in a gross spot where somebody would drink water. I don't know. That baffles me. So if you pick up your dog shit and then you leave the plastic bag of dog shit somewhere, you're a piece of shit. In my professional opinion. Went out to dinner one night. There was a very annoying girl sitting next to us that had such an annoying voice that we almost moved our table. You know, the 22-year-olds that they talk like, oh God, and then Janet did that and that, and I don't know what the fuck that is. I know it's kind of played out at this point, but it's out there, and it is just fucking horrific. And so she would do that, and then she was with her grandma or something, and then her grandma would go, oh my God, that's crazy. And it was just like the old lady version, and I was like, just both of you, just go jump off a fucking bridge and land in the water and swim to shore and stay alive. But stop going out to dinner and ruining people's time with your stupid, annoying voice. All right, that's pretty much it. I fucking walked on. I forgot about this. So of my 2 days of work, Sunday, there was a guy in there after closing time, and he was painting some shit. He's like, yeah, I'm just touching up some stuff. Let me know before you leave so I can make sure you don't, fuck up the paint. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll talk to you before I leave, blah, blah, blah. And I thought he was painting the doors. And so I'm like trying to stay out of his way, whatever. And he's got both of the doors wide open, and I got to take out the breakage, like the empty liquor bottles and stuff. And I kind of sneak past him, and right at the last second, as I'm going out the back door, I'm like, man, this floor is like super clean. But it's too late. I already walked over it. And I like go and dump the shit. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I told you to talk to me before you did it. And I'm like, he's like, you walked on my fucking paint. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I'm so sorry. Fuck. And he's like, fuck yeah. Fuck you, dude. And I'd never even met this guy before. He's like a daytime cook. And super nice dude. And I fucking walked on his shit. And he was so mad. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm... whatever. And so I'm like, well, now what? And he's like, fuck, I don't know. Here, wipe your shoes off so you don't get it all over the place. And then, just give me one more fucking thing to do. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so awkward. I'm so sorry. I apologize. And, I kind of go back to finishing my stuff, and a couple minutes goes by, and he calms down, and he's like, it would have been really funny if I didn't catch you, and then you would have just walked back in and tracked paint all over the fucking restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, that would have been really funny. Nice to meet you, by the way. And he's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. What a way for us to meet. So that was super awkward and funny, and yeah. But he didn't punch me or anything. He was just, fuck you, man. So we did end up laughing about it, and he just had to go over it one more time, and I washed my shoes off, and everything was fine. But, yeah. 2 days of work, and I still find a way to fuck something up, and, But, that's how it goes. You can try as you might, but you still end up fucking something up. Alright. That's good. I think we're going to shut this motherfucker off, and you guys have a lovely week, and, yeah. Do things that make you happy, and have a good week, and enjoy the rain and the pumpkin spice and the spooky season. And I'll get on here in a week or so and try and get another one of these rolling. Meanwhile, I'll be on Reddit trying to sell people to listen to my podcast. All right, peace.